Are you guys ready to do something cool? We're going to build a Excel spreadsheet that gathers all the information about sheriff sales, looking up each individual property on the county website and pulling in all sorts of extra information that isn't available on the sheriff sale website. Let's get started because you're going to really like this one. Check out what you can do with it. Isn't that cool? The whole process runs automatically and it just runs from a click of a button. Your computer will go through all the pages of sheriff sale data, so it doesn't matter if there's one listing or if there's 100 listings. It goes through and gets all the information and combines it all right in front of your eyes. This is really cool. It's available for free, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it today. Okay, this is Power Automate Desktop, and I'm going to step you through what this does briefly so you can get a high-level view of exactly how this thing works. So the very first thing you see here is Launch New Chrome, and that has the URL in it already. So to add these things in, you can just drag them from the left over here, put it in here, and then you'll see if you double click, you can put in all the details. So that's all I did here was I just put this window in, put in the URL for it, and that's it. So we're going to skip over this next one here because we'll come back to it. The next thing that we need to do is actually open that page in a browser. So we're going to go to the sheriff sales page here, and from there we'll see that we have everything here because we're going to get some of this in the data from real data. So now that we have that page loaded in Chrome, we can come back to Power Automate Desktop, and we're on this step, and that's just because we're going to skip this one for now. So extract data from web page is the one that we need. You would do that from inside the web data extraction and just drag this guy into here. And as soon as you double click that, you end up seeing this, bringing this actual web browser to the foreground. Will open the, activate the live web helper. This is actually really, really useful. So you want to have this window open as you switch back to your browser. And the moment that you do that, you end up with this really cool window here. This is already filled out with details, but I'm going to show you exactly how the thing works. So as soon as this is open, you can see that I get this crazy red, the red background that appears as soon as I hover over things in the browser. And that's actually how you use this. So let's dive into the advanced settings. So you can see we're going to actually just look at this extract table, but we don't even need to do that. So the first thing that we're going to need here is court case and then URL, address, current bid, and status. So to get that, we're just going to drag you out of the way. We're going to rebuild this thing. So you'll see that I have here, we need this court case. So you go to this, you right click on it, and then from there, we're going to click on text. And that is our court case. The next thing we need is the URL. And the URL is actually what we click on when we go here. So for the URL, we want to have, we'll click on this and extract element value, and then we have the href from inside there. This can be a little tricky to get. So once you get that, you'll see that this live web helper is starting to populate that out. The next thing on our list is address, which is the same field. So we right click on this and we go to text from the extract element value. And then we have the current bid, which we're actually using for debt amount here. So we're going to pull the debt amount out, right click extract value, and grab the text. So you can see we're starting to get some details, but it looks really funny over here. The last thing that we had on our list was this status. So we're going to right click on this guy and click on stayed, and that is our status. It's still, this live web helper doesn't look right, but you can ignore that because it's going to get magic here in a second. So you can see we've clicked everything on a single row in this table. The moment that we click on the next one, and we need the court case, right? So the moment we click on the next one and we hit extract element value, which was our first column, and we hit text again, all the data kind of fixes itself, and now it's in the right format. So it knows exactly what it is that we need to grab from this website, and we can start to add the details in here. So from here, we can just call this URL, click tab, and then do address, and then we'll do, debt. But where is status? Status has disappeared. So we need to actually grab that again because, the thing is a little funny. And now you'll see, hey, look, now we've got 5 columns. We'll just rename this to status because it's really helpful for us to deal with later, and we'll click finish. So now the extracted data is going to be stored into this auction data variable, and we're going to be able to access that later on in our flow. The next thing we're going to do is launch Excel. So that's really easy. Again, we can just come to the side here, click on Excel, and we'll just drag this guy right into there. And that's all I did to launch Excel. When it comes up, it looks like this with the properties window. And we didn't do anything here. We just made it launch Excel with a blank document. That's it. We're not trying to do anything too crazy. Now, before we go on too far, I forgot one step we need to look at in extract data from web page. If we run this as it is, it's only going to get one page of data, but we need to actually get all the pages of data. So you can see that we have at the bottom here, we have this little next button. So if we go back to our extract data from web page and we pull this back up, you'll see our helpful web helper is still there, but we need to right click on this next button down here and click on set element as pager. So that's going to make it so that it goes through, it gets everything on the list, and then it clicks on the next button. And it does that again and again and again. But how does it know how many pages to get? It's kind of dumb. That's where that other subflow is, where it gets the number of pages. So to do that, we can go into the calculate paging. You can see that we pull the details about the number of pages and we look up the details here, 98, and then we start doing all sorts of math and we divide it by 15 because that's how many is on a page, and then we have to round it. There's a lot of boring stuff that goes into that. But you can do that by tracking that. So from here, we then do our little write Excel headers subflow. And all that that's doing is writing all of these things on a row 1 inside of Excel. So we have a plan of exactly what we're going to do. Court case, address, debt amount, auction status, all the other fun stuff that goes in there is just written out in the headers inside of Excel, so that as we build these guys out, we're going to be able to work with them. Now, if you remember in this auction data, that's going to get the data from every single page for us, stepping through all 6 pages or 8 pages or however many pages there currently are. The next thing we do is a for each. So that for each is over here under the loops section. We just drag in the for each, and that basically goes through all the auction data, and it looks at each row a row at a time. So the first thing we do is set the sale URL to current item 1. Now you'll see I added a helpful little comment here because it's really difficult to deal with this. And we just put the comment in so we know exactly the format of that. So current item 1 is this URL because this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And so from there, we need to look up the parcel IDs. And that lookup parcel IDs is over here. That navigates to that sale URL, which we just set back here. You can see set sale URL to current item 1. And then it extracts the value from the web page. So again, same thing. We go to the web page that we need, and we can look at how this works. So we double click on this guy, go back here, and you'll see that if we scroll all the way down, that extraction thing has already been set up for us. So super cool. That goes into raw parcel IDs because sometimes they list more than one. And from there, we split it up because sometimes they list it with and. So you've got, the numbers of the parcel IDs are there with the Parcel ID 1 and Parcel ID 2 and Parcel ID 3. All we're doing here is we're taking this and using this split text to put it into Parcel IDs list. Once we have our list, then we can go back out of this subflow because now we know that Parcel IDs is in that list, and we can go through each Parcel ID in the Parcel ID list. That means that these entries over on the auction website can sometimes result in more than one entry in our Excel spreadsheet, which is really cool because our Excel spreadsheet then goes through each of the different parcel IDs, even though they might be on the same record inside the auction website. So from there, we go into this next subflow, which is lookup parcel info. This is the fun one that goes over to the website for the county. So you can see, first thing we do is go to the county's website, and then we click on the parcel ID search. So if we go here and we just copy out this guy, and we'll go over to the county website and we'll just make a new one. And this is what it's actually loading. So from here, then we tell it to click on this guy, which we can get from here. So instead of trying to do it magic, you just drag the click link on web page from here. So we would just grab this and pull that in, and that's going to give you a window like this. And now you can just hit add new UI element, and hold down the control button and left click, and that's going to tell you, hey, that's what we need to click on, and that's it. It comes back over to Power Automate, and you're done. So then we have it populate the text field. So what that does is it goes to the parcel ID. So you would come here, and it populate text field is just another one of these things. So we'll fill out that field, and then we press the search button, and then from here we extract the data in the web page. So again, if we put in the parcel ID number and click search, now we need to start to extract data from here. So again, we have to have that page pulled up. We'll double click this guy. It brings up this window. We come back over and we get all of our fun values. These are all pre-filled because it was already done. This was done just by right clicking on it and hit extract text values for all the different fields that we need here. I'm not going to step through that again because I want to get you to how this really works. So that's it for that, and you'll be able to move forward into the next thing here, which gets the web page current URL into the property URL. So that will just grab this URL and save that for us for later. Then we click on the button over here for the photos, and we wait for this photo to appear, and then we grab the image source for this guy. So that's what that's doing, is it clicks there, it waits for that image to appear, and then it grabs the image source and it leaves the subflow. There's some other stuff down here which is tied to the on error here. So if you click on this, basically what happens if there's no image and we don't see that image appear, then we click on this on error down here, and we can see that what it's doing is if it has a timeout error, and it's indicated by this little fun little shield thing, we're going to say continue flow run, and we actually need to hit go to label here, and then from the label it's just no image. So if we don't have an image, it's going to skip over this exit step because it jumps from here and it goes to the label, and all that does is it sets the image to nothing so that we don't have an image in our recorded data. Now we go back to the main flow, and you can see all that we do is write out the Excel data and increase our row count by 1. The reason we need to have that row count is because when you write the Excel data, you're doing it one sheet or one cell at a time. And that's what we're doing, is we're just putting all the data that we've gathered right into Excel, going through all of it, and this is how the whole thing runs. I wanted to keep this quick, give a really quick overview, but this is how you can get sheriff sale data, combine it with data from another website, and make a really cool Excel spreadsheet from it all. There are many, many other things that you can do, and this is how Power Automate Desktop works. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I hope you're able to build your own spreadsheets for your own really valuable data and make some really cool things happen. Thanks. This has been a lot of fun.